Hi everyone, Melissa here. Today I'm going to be doing a pretty simple chunky glitter ombre. I don't feel like I've even done a video of this, even though it's a pretty common design style to do. But I haven't done it in a while, so I'm excited to do it. And with these colors that are so pretty. These are from Adrada Dip Powder. So this is Sangria. A rose gold gown, which is a great, beautiful rose gold, kind of hollowish, chunky, and Juliet, which is a nice, light, natural pink. My mani today is actually going to be called what I like when I'm calling a H2T Adrada nail mani, because it is head to toe Adrada. So I did my builder gel with Adrada builder gel last night, used her gel liquids, and I loved it. They went on great. I like the viscosity, the thickness of her builder gel. It's actually very similar to the double dipped builder gel. This is her jar. This is what the double dip, kind of the same jar that the double dipped one used to come in. But yeah, it went on very beautifully, and I loved it. I did these last night, and note to self, if you notice I have these scratches while I'm, knocking things down. If you notice I have these scratches while I'm doing my design, it's because I cannot be trusted with these by themselves overnight. They're just too sharp, and I will injure myself. So yeah, let's put some dip powder on there so I can not be hurt anymore. I am also using her dip liquids for the first time. I've got the full set, so it comes with base gel, activator, and your finish gel, which are your standards, your must-haves to do a set. It also comes with the prep bond, which I will not be using because I do have peel base on my nails. It has a brush saver, so if you have problems with your brush, you can either clean it or unharden it with this. And it actually comes with a little cuticle oil too, which is super cute. That is lovely. It's a very mild kind of sweet, slightly floral. I don't know how to explain it, but it's very nice. And then it also comes with a couple extra brushes just in case you do have problems with your brushes, which is always a good thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get started with this design, and I will let you know just a little bit what I think about the liquids as I'm going. I'm actually gonna start with a bit of a sniff test. I don't like to do this too much because I do get dip flu. Luckily, I do not really get it with double dip liquids, so I don't have to worry too much. But every time I try a new brand, there's a risk that it's going to give me more of a dip flu. So I'm gonna do a very mild sniff test. People out there, do not yell at me for doing this. I don't do it often. So let me see what the smell is like. Okay, these are they're definitely stronger in scent than the double dipped liquids I use. They actually have a scent very similar to ones that I have reacted to in the past. So I will probably be, most definitely be wearing my mask for most of the dipping in this. And then the parts where I can't, I'll just have to be careful. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with dipping my solid colors down. So I think I'm going to do the chunky here, ombre here, and then Juliet under the ombre, Juliet here, and then Sangria on these two. So for the chunky nail, I am gonna do one full dip of Sangria. I like to put kind of a complementing color underneath a chunky so that I have to do less dips. So we'll do one dip of that under the chunky nail. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into the dipping now. Okay, I'm gonna start with first impression on a first nail. That way we can kind of look at that dry time on these liquids. These sample jars are pretty small. Let's hope that my nail fits in it. Should be okay. So as far as testing dry time, I like to look at the very first layer on the nail because a quick dry time will sometimes dry before I can get the nail into the powder, so I'll have splotches where it doesn't quite cover. Medium dry time will have a little bit less. Might still have some parts that dry before I can dip. And then a slow dry time generally will have a full coverage. And that's going to vary, of course, based on the level of oils in your nails, the heat in your room. Multiple different variables affect dry time in your environment. But for me, I'm pretty familiar with my environment, how the peel base affects it, and things like that, so I can judge compared to other brands that I've used. Okay, so see, there are little parts that dried before I was able to dip that in. I would say this is probably a medium dry time. This is about the same as what double dipped will do to me. And I consider double dip to be a medium dry time, but that's just on one nail. So let me test on one more and see if I get the same result. Okay, so then this one had more full coverage. So definitely medium dry time means that some nails will be able to have full coverage on the first dip, and some might not. Now, how I resolve this problem of it drying quickly on the first dip is by putting a solid layer of the dip base down first and letting it dry, and then the second layer will dry more slowly. So I have no problem with this. It's not an issue to me. I don't mind doing that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my mask on and just finish dipping my solid colors out. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pause here and just comment on the pigmentation of the dip powder. Now, this is definitely a dip powder that's slightly lighter in pigmentation. This is 2 dips, and I still have some spots that aren't entirely full coverage. I know I have a lot of dip powders that are full coverage in dip powder in 2 dips. This isn't a bad thing. I don't mind it because I generally do 4 dips of color. However, if I had a design where I required just 2 dips of a color to get the color down, I would probably reach for something else. But other than that, they're going on beautifully. They're super smooth, and I'm loving the color. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish out. Okay, now I got all of the solid color down. Pigmentation on Juliet was definitely better. It had really good coverage in 1 dip. I probably could have gotten away with just 2 for the nail that I was doing, that I'm doing the ombre on, but I decided to do 3 just because I like to file pretty vigorously and I want to make sure that I have enough layers of color on there to keep it opaque. But I am going to go ahead and activate and file all of these, and then we can, oh wait, I'm sorry. Take that back, I gotta put my glitter down. I also have the Adrada clear, and I've heard really, really good things about this clear, so I'm definitely excited to try it out. I'm going to be putting this over the top of my chunky, so I'm going to lay this out in a cupcake liner to make a more even application. Okay, I'm gonna do a couple of dips of the clear over this. Now, I was given instructions with our clear to, one, gotta make sure that any stray glitter is brushed off, because we don't want to contaminate the clear. With my double dip clear, I've always had a separate jar. I'll put some in a separate jar for solids. She said that the best way to keep it from being contaminated is to pour over into a cupcake liner. All of our dark jars come sealed like this, which is nice. It can also make opening them very time consuming. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 dips over the top of this. Okay, now we are going to activate and file everything. So we will see how quickly her activator dries. Okay, one little thing I did notice, which is very common with really quick drying activators, is that they don't always have time to penetrate into lower layers. So like you can see here, I had a little bit that started to come up because it was in the lower layers, it wasn't quite as solidified. So that just means you have to use a little bit extra. All right, so I've got those all filed up. I'm gonna go ahead and do the ombre design on this nail. So I'm gonna put this back in here. I put it away so that it would not get contaminated while I was filing. Put this back in here just so that I can pick up pieces a little bit easier with my ombre brush. I'm just using a old eyeshadow brush, and I like these that are kind of flat and short. It gives you a little bit more control. I have, as I said before, I went ahead and filed this nail that I'm doing the ombre on top of just so I have a nice smooth shaped surface to work with, which is going to make smoothing and shaping afterwards even easier, and it also makes sure that the glitters lay down and fall down in a nice clean way. But I am going to apply a layer of dip base and let it dry before I put on the layer for ombre, because there is activator in the lower layers and it's going to cause this layer to dry very quickly, which we do not want. Okay, now that that is dry, I'm going to go ahead and paint on another layer. I'm going to brush right here. Paint on another decent layer of the base, and we're going to pick up some glitter with this brush. I like to get it all up on there. Point the nail downward, and just give her a little gentle tap. Okay, that base actually dried pretty quickly. I wasn't able to get a whole lot of glitter on there before it dried. As you can see, some of it just brushes off. So I'm going to apply some more. I don't need a whole lot more down here. I will probably place some glitters, hand place some larger glitters here. So I'm just going to put a little bit more just because I want a little bit more coverage at the cuticle line. Okay, now I'm just going to do a couple dips of clear over the top of this, and then I will activate and file it. Okay, I got them all filed and buffed and everything, and we are ready to do this top coat. Okay, so her instructions for a top coat say to activate, wait 2 minutes, wipe with a lint-free cloth, and then top coat. Wait a minute, do another layer of top coat. Anybody who knows me or watches my videos knows that I am not a patient person when it comes to top coats. I don't like having to wait 2 minutes to do my top coat, which is why I love my double dip top coat so much. I am going to try these and see how I like them. I don't think I'm gonna wait the full 2 minutes. Don't yell at me. But that's mostly because this activator dries so quickly. It evaporates away. So I feel like that allows for a shorter wait time between activator and top coat. I am gonna do the wiping off the brush between each layer just because get the extra activator off of the brush, and that's also recommended in the instructions. So I'm gonna go ahead and activate all of these. I'm gonna wait about a minute, and then we'll get into the top coat and see how that goes. While I'm waiting for the activator to dry, I'll just say that if you have used these liquids and you're more familiar with how they behave, how the brush hardens, timing you use, please let me know below, because I like to know people's experience with the liquids. I know that all liquids give instructions to wait a longer time just to be safe, because no brand wants their top coat brush to harden. No brand wants their liquids to contaminate and thicken, which is what the activator does to the top coat. So I know that most directions are extra cautious. So if you've used Adrada before, please let me know your experience. All right, here we go with the top coat. Okay, here is the finished set. The shine is beautiful. I love the shine on it. I did not have any brush hardening. I waited a minute. I did not wipe with the lint-free cloth, but I didn't have any brush hardening, so that's very nice. The top coat leveled nicely. It didn't dry quite as quickly as I'm used to, but it still was dry with in about a minute, a little over a minute, so it's not too bad. I did time it. But all in all, these are fantastic liquids. I like them a lot, and I think that they would be very user-friendly, beginner-friendly liquids. So there we are, my head to toe, quote unquote, Adrada dip powder set. I love it. I love these colors. I love this design. I think it's very classy. It's beautiful. So you let me know what you think, and I will see you next time.